From the people who brought you Slips
And death.
We bring you tons.
Do you want to try that again?
Yeah, okay. Tons.
You really didn't think this through, did you?
No, it didn't. No.
It's The Train Now Starring.
In this new programme, we'll be looking at many classic railway films. Each one will be criticised on account of their storyline, their technicalities, and their general appeal. Some of these are timeless classics known and loved by all. Others have more of a cult following, and some... we'll get to that, I suppose. But let's start off with a classic from 1937, Oh Mr. Porter. This Gainsborough picture features comedy legends Will Hay, Maud Marriott and Graham Moffat as they run a station in Northern Ireland.
Which looks suspiciously like Hampshire.
Except we'll get to that. As Hay, along with his co-stars, charter an excursion which somehow suspiciously gets hijacked by gunrunners, although we're not supposed to know that until later on in the plot. This, along with the local legend of a mysterious mill owner, leads the comedy trio to track down the missing train, and good fun is ensued by all. So it's kind of a fish out of water story with elements of the ghost train thrown in, but on account of that, it's held up surprisingly well.
Yes. I only came across this film about 3 years ago.
Only 3 years ago.
Only 3 years ago, and I really wish I'd discovered it sooner. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah, I think I only first saw it about 5 years ago or something. Like
God,
that.
you two are
Yeah.
juniors.
Yeah.
I remember I saw this film for the first time when I was 11 years old. I just remember thinking, this film's funny and it's this old. What's going on? Most films today can't be this funny.
There's nothing really in it to age it. I mean, there's some period jokes, but they're period jokes that people will still understand.
Yeah.
I think they'll still understand them 100 years from now. It's not dated humour, which a lot of comedy today relies on.
Mm.
It's got that solidarity about it that just helps it carry the jokes through. I mean, right from the start. I mean, everyone can associate the bumbling idiots.
Yeah.
Getting their stuff wrong. I mean, that just is funny no matter when it is.
I mean, the way I saw it was that it was simple enough to follow, except for maybe the very last bit when the engine blows up. Spoiler alert. But apart from that, I couldn't really find anything to fault the story.
No.
No, not really. There's not anything major in there that kind of detracts from the enjoyment of the film. There's the whole maybe them getting out the windmill thing, which is a bit peculiar, but
Yeah.
it's still funny
Yes.
and it helps with the story.
Yes.
So, marks out of 3 for the story?
3.
Yep, 3.
Agreed. We've agreed on something. What's
Wow.
going on?
This is quite unusual for us.
Or is it?
We'll see how often this happens throughout the series. Doesn't generally bode well, but this is a good start.
Yes.
Yes.
Technical?
I have a major problem.
Okay, what's the major
Well,
problem?
we know that, Sam, but what's your major problem?
Thank you for that. It's based in Ireland, right?
Yes.
Okay. What gauge does Ireland run on?
Well, obviously, since we've been to Ireland, 5 foot.
Yes.
5'3".
So,
Okay, 5'3".
Okay, 5'3". So, would you care to explain to me why the lines are 4 feet 8.5?
Because it's filmed in Hampshire.
Yes.
There's your reason.
Yes. Why they were closing the line down? Why couldn't they have just widened the track?
Because that would involve getting engines over from Ireland as well.
What this says to me is the film company had no
Commitment?
Money.
commitment to this. Probably money was probably the issue. They had no commitment to
Or
the
money.
authenticity of this film, and it bothers me.
Everything bothers you, Sam.
Why do you think I'm here? I didn't come on this to be nice about films.
Sam is literally only here to be bothered about films.
Yes. But naturally, the issues of the wrong gauge, the fact that there are Southeastern Chatham coaches in use.
Let's make this a little bit simpler, Sam. Were there any technical aspects which you found good about it? Because
Yes.
I can name a few.
Yeah, I can name a few. The the fact that it wasn't actually raining while filming, but actually for the time that they were filming, yeah, bloody convincing. Good bit of night photography as well.
The thing that got me most about the technical aspects was the chase sequence. It's obviously sped up, but it's sped up in the same way that it almost feels like a Roadrunner or a Tom and Jerry cartoon. That's part of how the thing
and
doesn't
it's only
age
in
for
about
me.
the last 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
So it's not really detracting anything.
It suits the thing.
I think
It
Benny,
suits it.
I get the feeling Benny Hill must have seen it before starting his program.
Benny Hill, inspired by Mr. Porter.
Exactly. Yeah.
So technical overall out of 3.
2.
Yeah, I agree with you on that too.
I'd say 2.5. Mostly on the basis that most other films from the 30s didn't look that convincing either. Or at least as convincing for comedic effect.
Okay.
Yeah, you just said that you thought for a scene where it obviously wasn't raining, they made it look like real rain. And then the sped up sequences were obviously very funny. So on that basis, I'd say 2.5.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So general appeal,
Very appealing.
in the sense of...
In the sense of, for the reasons as previously stated, with issues with rolling stock and gauge, it's obviously not a film that's geared to the enthusiast.
Well,
No.
you say that. There's a lot which the enthusiast can like about it.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
a disused railway, an extinct Kent-Sussex railway locomotive, which looks ridiculous, but it's still nice to see.
Again, never found in Ireland. But no. Taking that aside, with those errors within it, it's got elements that the railway enthusiast can enjoy. Of course, the railway enthusiast are going to enjoy it. It's a railway film.
Of course.
It's got steam engines. It's going to be enjoyable for railway enthusiasts. But it's got such a good storyline that works across the board for practically anybody. And I defy anyone to dislike it.
I mean, Hay does play the same sort of character in most of his other films at that time. You know, Windbag the Sailor, Hey Hey USA, Convict 99, and so on. In fact, all three of them play the same sort of characters in those films. But there's something about this one which has sort of a more everlasting appeal than those ones. The fact that it's not... It's the storyline is a lot more basic. The setting is a lot more simplistic. And there's just something in it for the enthusiast, and because of that, I think it has more appeal than, more of an everlasting appeal than any of those other films.
I'll agree to that.
Yeah, I agree as well.
We've stunned him.
So, marks out of 4 in that sense?
Top.
Bold claim.
I go for a 3 personally. I think there's a certain demographic of people that wouldn't like this film.
Who?
People who don't like people who don't like black and white films.
Yeah, a
wouldn't
lot of people
like it.
will not watch black and white films.
Cultured swines.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are people like that.
Yeah.
Like that out there.
I wouldn't be surprised
So-
if a lot of people didn't watch The Artist because it was in black and white, and that was a pretty good film.
Yeah.
And that was made when 2012, 13.
My heart weeps for society.
He said it, not me.
I don't mind. I speak my mind.
Yeah, we noticed.
No, I stand by. I stand by my 4.
I
Yeah.
think on the basis that some people wouldn't like black and white films, it's... and for some of the green screen shots, perhaps, technical aside, is probably going to get a 3.5 from me. I'd say 3.5.
Okay.
I'm sticking with me 3.
So averaging out at 3.5.
Yeah. So recommend yay or nay?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yay.
it's on YouTube. Go watch it.
Yes. Now. Can we put a link on?
I suppose we can link it in the description.
Possibly.
Click the link.